So you guys are going to be grown at some point. You're going to be out there having to do the adult thing. You're going to have to pay your own way in the world, right? Pay rent, buy a car, whatever you want to do. So you got to be good at something. What do you want to be good at? Yeah, what are you going to be good at?
Anything?
Anything? Nothing in particular? Who wants to be good at something special? Talk to me. What do you want to be good at?
Basketball.
Basketball?
Football.
Yeah, I want to be good at basketball too. I'm still not. I've been working on it for 55 years. It's okay. What do you want to be good at?
Football and UFC.
Football and UFC? You gonna let people punch you? Man, that's all about fighting. What do you want to be good at?
Baseball.
Baseball? Anybody else got something that's not a sport that you want to be good at? What do you want to be good at?
I want to be good at
FBI? Okay, that's policing. What do you want to be good at?
Karate.
Karate? You?
I want to be good at the
Army? If I ask everybody at least one time what you want to be good at, who knows what you're being good at right now? You're being good listeners, right? What else are you working on? Right now, what are you working on being good at right this very minute? Anger problems? That's pretty close. What do you think you're working on to be good at right now? What you guys are working on being good at right now is you're working on being good human beings. Right? What do you learn in church when you come here? Yeah, and all of Jesus' beliefs, right? Which teach you morals, values, ethics, character, right? It teaches you how to be a good human being, to go out in the world and get along with others. It teaches you how to serve others. Why might I be talking to you about serving others? Because that's what a career in the fire department is all about. So if you want to get paid to be a good human being and help others, keep doing what you're doing. Come to Bible school, learn all the values that the church has to teach you, right? Because it's important that you can pull hose and that you can start IVs and put Band-Aids on people and all that stuff, right? Put that hose, put the water on the fire, all that's important, right? Like you got to have those skills, but the most important skill, the number one thing we look for is your character and your attitude. We want you to have a good set of values. So you guys are already on your way to being great fire service candidates. What do you think about that? Yeah, right? In fact, it's going to make you a good adult, right? Like you're all going to reach adulthood, right? Like you're all going to get to 18, you're all going to have rent to pay, you got all that stuff. You might as well put the skills you're working on right now to use when you get there. So, is anybody here not from Springfield? You're not from Springfield? Because I can tell you, that's another thing that I look for when I recruit. I look for people from Springfield, right? Because if you're from here, you don't mind staying here and working here. You're more inclined to stay here and do the things you need to do to take care of you and your family. So you guys already got a whole bunch of things going for you if you want to be a firefighter and a paramedic someday. Anybody interested at all in what we do? You got any questions about what we do? No? Y'all are raising your hands. Yeah. What's your thought? What do we do? So, you guys ever heard of calling 911?
Yes.
Why would you call 911?
For fire.
Okay, your house is on fire, right? And you guys don't know what to do, right? So you call us, and we come solve your problem. If you're getting robbed, you're going to get the police, and we work with them.
Or if somebody got hurt.
Right? Oh, yeah, if somebody gets hurt, who's going to come fix your broken arm, right? Or
That's like a wreck.
auto accident, right? Yeah, you bump your face on the dashboard because you weren't wearing your seatbelt. Oops. Right? Yeah, we respond to all that stuff. Someone has a heart attack, right? If they can't breathe good. All those things. That's our job. We go out and we help people. Right? And you run into people in the community that you know. And you get a chance to help your friends and your neighbors. And you get paid pretty daggone good for doing it. Right? Yeah. Like, way better than average income in Springfield. Way better. So if you're looking to be a good person and make a really good wage in Springfield, you just might want to pay attention and keep us in mind as a career as you grow up. What you got? How much do I make? More than $100,000 a year.
I can give you some right now.
Yeah. Now everybody don't make the same. Let's just start there, right? But that's just me being honest. You can start out. The lowest we pay is over 50 grand a year.
What? I already got all of them.
Over 50 grand a year, and that's the least we pay. By the time you guys get there, it'll probably be about $70,000.
What is once a basic firefighter hits, just a firefighter, the lowest level employee, what does he make? Because you're talking about the entry level employee.
That's entry level. So the top step firefighter is just short of 70 grand a year. Just short of 70,000 bucks. That equates to about $35, $36 an hour. Right? Every hour. Every hour. Now, as firefighters, here's something else that's really super cool. You don't work Monday through Friday. You don't work riding a desk, right? You ride a fire truck. You ride an ambulance.
Riding a fire truck.
You work 24 hours at a time. So you go in at 7 o'clock in the morning, you get all your stuff checked off, you start taking calls, and you don't get off work till 7 o'clock the next morning. But then, you get the next 2 days off. So if you work Monday, you don't work Tuesday, you don't work Wednesday, you don't go back in until Thursday. Right? Then you're off Friday, Saturday, and you go Sunday. So in 2 weeks, you work 5 days. The next 2 weeks, you work another 5 days. So you work 10 days a month. And then you get vacation and benefits on top of that. What you got?
Well, it's good that when you get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and you go back the next 2 days, it's good because you're saving people's lives every 4 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The point I'm making is you guys work really hard for a while, then you get a nice big break so you can go do some other things, right? You can take care of your family. You can go pay your bills. You got all this time to go do things. Take a hobby if you like golf or baseball or basketball or football, like I heard you guys all say you want to get good at. Volleyball, karate, mixed martial arts, right? Whatever it is, right? Someone talked about going into mixed martial arts fighting.
Oh.
Right? Wasn't that you?
I actually did martial arts when I was pretty young.
All right. So, my question for all of you guys is who's going to keep putting in the work? Right? That's what I'm talking about. If you keep putting in the work to be a good human being and working on your values, keeping your nose clean, making the right decision, then you're exactly the kind of person we're looking for in a fire department. Right? And I told you about all the benefits, right? And here's another thing. You guys like to hang out in a team? You guys all talked about playing team sports, right? There's no better team than somebody, if me and you two are a team, and we're going into a fire together, we got to have each other's backs so much, because I'm dependent on you, and you're dependent on me for our lives, right? It's no joke when you're in there fighting fire, right? There's no closer team than that. That's kind of cool too, eh? What you got?
Pretty crazy being in the fire.
Yeah. Most people run out of it, right? There's enough crazy in us that we run into it, right?
I see.
You're second, you're first. You were up.
On the movies, I see like firefighters go inside this house on fire and saving people.
Yeah.
Because they have all their gear.
Well, TV's fun to watch, but you got to keep in mind that's just entertainment. Everything you see is not real, okay?
But sometimes it will be.
Well, there's some shows that get it close, but they really can't get it real, right? Because then you wouldn't be able to see. If you go into, if this building was on fire, there'd be so much smoke we couldn't see each other. And that doesn't work on TV, right? But it's still entertainment, it's fun to watch. I watch it myself, it's cool. So, sir, in the back.
I have a question for you. What about drug usage?
So, there's this thing, we got these processes where we go through, right? The first thing you do is you take a written exam. If you pass the written exam, you take our physical agility test, and then you go for a polygraph. And they're going to ask you, have you been drinking? Have you been doing anything illegal, drugs, right? You've got to have a clean nose, right? Like, you don't have to be a perfect person. You can have one or two small bad decisions in your life. They can't be yesterday, right? You have to have some distance between you and a bad decision. But an automatic exclusion is if you've done any drugs, even marijuana, in the last 365 days, you're out. That's just the world we live in.
Marijuana meaning weed?
Yep, weed, pot, there's probably a lot of names for it that you young folks know that I don't, right? But you get what I'm putting down, right?
What about getting in trouble like with the law?
Well, so if you get a speeding ticket, I've had a few, right? Like, you can still be a firefighter. You can have a misdemeanor. You guys know that's a lower level crime, right? You hit the felony record, you're out. That's automatic, right? But that's why I started where I started. I asked, what do you guys want to be good at? You want to be good human beings? You don't have to worry about crime, right? Don't do that stuff. Keep putting in the work right here at church, picking up these values, living by them, you'll stay out of trouble. What do you got?
If somebody like does it like a fourth degree felony or something, can they get a on probation?
I suppose they can, but you get a felony on your record, the state of Ohio will not let you become a firefighter or an EMT. It's automatic. It doesn't have anything to do with Springfield Fire. That's the state of Ohio law. You cannot get a card that lets you work. What else you guys got? Questions?
How do you guys get the hose onto the fire hydrant without getting soaked wet?
Well, so there's a hydrant right out here in front. It's not flowing water right now, is it? So we open the hydrant and we hook the hose up, and then the stem on the top, that's what opens the water up. Once we spin that stem on the top, and we wait till we put the hose on before we spin that stem open. Yep, it's not like the cartoons, right? Where it's, no, it's not a wet barrel hydrant all the time. It's dry until we make it wet by spinning that stem on the top. So yes, sir.
I have a question for you. How old do you have to be before you can start the fire department?
You can start your training at age 17, and you can be certified as a firefighter and an EMT at the age of 18. So, your senior year, right? Even between your junior and your senior year in high school, we've had people come to us through Clark State, post-secondary. They actually have the high school pay the college degree for them, right? The college program. They come to our fire academy, and they get certified. So that at age 18, as soon as you graduate, you're eligible to be a firefighter. So you don't even have to be a really fully grown, mature adult. You could be just barely out of high school. Sir?
What fire station do you stay at?
So that's a good question. I work out of Fire Station 1, which is downtown. We have 7 fire stations across the city, right? So we're going to end up with 6 stations, and we're going to build 4 new ones over the next 3 years. So what you got?
Do you know, do you know about the that's flying on Sunset?
Yeah, speak up.
The one that's by Sunset?
Yeah, that's Station 3,
Yeah.
down on Selma Road.
Yep.
Go up here to the Dollar General, hang a right, go down about 6 or 8 blocks.
I've been inside.
Me too. I worked there for a couple of years.
I've been on the fire trucks.
Yeah, that's a small station, isn't it? Yeah. That's probably one of the first ones to go out of service as we build the new stations. You, then you. What do I do? So, I got kind of a boring job, right? I set a lot of policy, rules. I help with what's called strategic planning. So, like I said, we're building these fire stations. Somebody has to decide how big the fire stations are going to be, make sure that we stay on budget for our fire stations, right? How many rooms it's going to be, how many trucks are going to go in the fire station. So I work on that kind of stuff. So, What else you guys got? Yes, sir.
Why are you not using dogs?
So Dalmatians used to be part of the fire service, and they would run alongside the horses and keep the horse, because we used to actually use horses to pull the pumpers that would flow water, right? So, and the dogs kept the horses in line.
So this question is not from me.
That's cool.
You're gonna know this. If I have a college degree, do I come in as a supervisor?
No, you do not come in as a supervisor currently, right? One thing that we are talking about at some point, though, is allowing lateral transfers into our department. Crazily enough, that's a charter amendment that has to be voted on by the citizens of Springfield. We're not allowed to bring anybody in above an entry-level spot right this minute, although we hope to change that.
Unless it's a chief level, right? The chief.
Well, so they could. It's been more than 20 years since we brought a chief in from the outside. We have always, if we hire inside, but you do need a degree to be the chief. Sir.
I may have missed this since I left. Age.
18.
Is there cutoff?
Oh. Not in Springfield. The state of Ohio does have a cutoff, and I think it's around 41 or 42. But we haven't applied that in Springfield. So we hired somebody, I think it was 44, and I think he just retired. So, what other questions?
Did you go to college and play sports at all?
I did. I went to the University of Dayton. I played football there for a couple of years before I started a family and decided I better get a job. Because I wasn't as good at football as I wanted to be, right? I was about a step too slow to make a D1 program. That's real, man. You can't coach speed. You got it or you don't.
So that kind of speaks to that team atmosphere, right? So we actually have a lot of guys that used to play college sports, high school sports, and they ended up at the fire department because it's kind of the same mentality. You see what I'm saying? He's speaking of that teamwork. You got to have teamwork in order to be a firefighter. So that's one of the main things that you got to have. You got to be able to follow orders also. You got to be able to obey. Am I correct?
Yep. But you got the biggest attribute we've already talked about, your character and your attitude, right? And a willingness to serve, right? And you guys right now, again, you're putting in the work. Just by being here, you're making yourself a better person. That's where it all starts. So, you guys gonna keep putting in the work? All right. I feel like maybe I'm done. Unless there's a last question. Anybody?
Appreciate it, Chief. Thank you.
Go.
How do you use a fire truck?
How do I use it? Well, so someone talked about catching the hydrant, right? If we catch the hydrant, we feed water into the fire truck, we boost the pressure, and we pick which hose line it goes out. So if you were on one hose line, let's say you had the red one and he had the green one, you'd be telling me, hey, give me water on the red, and I would do that. You'd tell me over your radio, we would send you water. When he's ready, he'd tell me to send him water. So that's kind of a real simple solution to it. It's a little more complex than that, but that's kind of the basics. All right, I got another meeting to get to. That's another thing fire chiefs do. They sit in a lot of meetings, so I got to go to a meeting at City Hall right now. Yep. Yeah. Whenever the city commission, every Tuesday, every other Tuesday, I got to go sit in that meeting, just in case a concerned citizen has a question for the fire chief. It's kind of boring, but it's what fire chiefs do. Firefighters that's where the work's at, right? That's where that's where the fun stuff is, right? All right, guys, keep putting in the work.